This belongs to me. Step back. Thank you. Enough.
The rain hammered against the tall windows of the Hayes estate in Greenwich, Connecticut, like a relentless drumbeat echoing through the grand foyer. Lightning flashed, illuminating the polished marble floors and the antique chandelier that swayed slightly in the wind. In the heart of this opulent home, built on generations of shipping wealth, a storm far fiercer than the one outside was brewing. Sarah Thompson, a 29-year-old housekeeper with a quiet strength honed from years of hard work, stood protectively in front of old Mr. Johnathan Hayes. At 76, the former Marine veteran clutched her arm, his breath ragged, his once commanding frame now frail from age and illness. "Back off, Vivian," Sarah said firmly, her voice steady despite the fear knotting her stomach. Vivian Hayes, the elegant 42-year-old wife of Johnathan's son Michael, sneered, her designer dress shimmering under the lights. "You think you can tell me what to do in my own house? You're nothing but the help." What happened next would shatter the facade of this wealthy family, exposing greed, loyalty, and a battle for justice that would grip the nation. Vivian's eyes blazed with fury as she advanced, her high heels clicking sharply against the floor. "That old fool should have been gone years ago," she hissed, her words slicing through the air. "This house, this fortune's mine now." Johnathan lifted his head weakly, his voice a gravelly whisper from battles long past. "Not while I draw breath, Vivian. And not while there's someone here with the guts to stand up to you." Sarah didn't budge, her back forming a human shield. She had worked for the Hayes family for 3 years, starting as a cleaner in their sprawling Greenwich mansion, drawn to the job by the need to support her ailing mother back in Detroit. But in that time, she had grown close to Johnathan, listening to his stories of Vietnam, sharing quiet moments over coffee. He called her guardian angel, and tonight, she lived up to it. Unseen in the shadows of the hallway, Michael Hayes, the 44-year-old CEO of Hayes Shipping Enterprises, paused mid-step. He had returned early from a business trip to New York City, his briefcase still in hand. The voices drew him closer, and he watched in horror as Vivian grabbed a crystal vase from a nearby table and hurled it toward Johnathan. Sarah reacted instinctively, stepping fully into the path. The vase shattered against her shoulder, shards embedding in her skin, blood mixing with the water from the flowers. "Sarah," Johnathan gasped, reaching out. Vivian lunged, slapping Sarah across the face, her rings drawing more blood. "You worthless nobody. How dare you interfere?" Sarah staggered but held her ground, tears streaming down her face. "Please, Mrs. Hayes, he's not well. He needs rest. Stop this." But Vivian struck again, her rage unchecked. "You'll regret this. This empire is mine, and you'll be out on the street." It was then that Michael burst into the room, his face a mask of shock. "Vivian, what the hell is going on?" He grabbed her arm, pulling her back. Vivian spun, her expression shifting to feigned innocence in an instant. "Michael, darling, she attacked your father. I caught her trying to hurt him. Look at the bloodits everywhere." Sarah clutched her bleeding shoulder, stepping forward desperately. "No, sir, that's not true. I was protecting him." She threw the vase at Mr. Hayes. Tears choked her words. Michael's eyes darted between them, confusion and doubt clouding his judgment. The sight of the shattered vase, the blood on the floor, and his father's trembling form overwhelmed him. "Enough," he barked, his voice authoritative from years of boardroom battles. "Sarah, you're fired. Get out now." The words hit her like a punch. She crumpled slightly, pleading, "Mr. Hayes, please, I would never harm him. Believe me." But he turned away, and Sarah, head bowed, stumbled out into the rain, her sobs lost in the storm. In the servants' quarters below, whispers spread like wildfire. "Did you hear?" Sarah went after old Mr. Hayes. Some nodded knowingly, jealousy from her closeness to the family fueling their gossip. "She always acted like she was better than us." But a few, who knew her kindness, sat silent, hearts heavy. As the night wore on, the mansion fell into an uneasy hush, the storm outside mirroring the turmoil within. Sarah wandered the slick streets of Greenwich, rain soaking her uniform, her shoulder throbbing. She had nowhere to go immediately, her small apartment in nearby Stamford too far in this weather. Huddled under a bus shelter, she pressed a hand to her wound, whispering, I did nothing wrong. God knows the truth. Back at the estate, Michael stood staring at the blood-stained floor, doubt gnawing at him. Vivian clung to him, fake tears in her eyes. You did the right thing, love. She was dangerous. But Jonathan's frail voice rose from his chair. Son, you made a mistake. That girl saved me. Unable to shake the unease, Michael slipped into the security room later that night. Pull up the footage from the foyer, he demanded. The screens flickered, and the truth unfolded. Sarah shielding Johnathan, Vivian's vicious attack. Michael's face hardened. At dawn, he confronted Vivian in the study, the morning light casting long shadows. I saw it all. The cameras don't lie. Vivian's composure cracked. You'll destroy us if you side with her. Michael's response was ice cold. You've destroyed yourself. This marriage is over. He slid divorce papers across the desk, drafted overnight by his lawyers. Vivian's scream echoed through the house, but it held no power anymore. Johnathan, resting by the window, looked up as Michael entered. That woman, Sarah, she stood like a marine. Don't let her go. Michael knelt, guilt heavy. I wronged her, Dad. I'll make it right. That evening, he found Sarah at a diner in Stamford, nursing black coffee, her shoulder bandaged crudely. She looked up, fear flashing in her eyes. Mr. Hayes? He sat across from her, his usual confidence replaced by humility. Sarah, I owe you more than words. I saw the footage. You protected my father. I'm ashamed I didn't believe you. Tears welled in her eyes. You believe me now? He nodded. And I'm sorry. You put yourself in harm's way for him. That's rare. He slid an envelope across the table, a new contract as Jonathan's personal aide, with a salary triple her old one, plus coverage for her mother's medical bills in Detroit. Sarah gasped. I don't know what to say. Say you'll come back, Michael urged. Help my father, and let me help you. After a moment, she nodded. Yes, I'll come back. The staff whispered as Sarah returned, some with envy, others with quiet respect. She walked the halls taller, though the cut on her shoulder still ached. That night, beside Jonathan's bed, she adjusted his blanket. He took her hand. Welcome home, guardian. She smiled through tears. I'm here, sir. And I'm staying. But peace was fleeting. Whispers escaped the estate, twisting into rumors in Greenwich's elite circles. At cocktail parties in neighboring Westport, guests murmured over champagne. Michael divorced Vivian over a housekeeper? Scandalous. Some painted Sarah as a manipulator, others as a gold digger. The local paper ran a story. Hayes heir elevates servant amid divorce drama. Sarah felt the stares first at the grocery store in town. Women whispered. That's her, the Hayes maid, playing the victim to climb the ladder. Inside the estate, the staff divided. In the kitchen, one grumbled. She's got the boss fooled. Another defended. She saved Mr. Hayes. Would you? Johnathan noticed her tension during their walks in the garden. Ignore the noise, guardian. Envy is a coward's weapon. Michael, facing boardroom pressure, saw investors whisper about the family's stability. At a charity gala in New York, guests murmured, lost his mind over the help. Doubt crept in protecting Sarah might cost the Hayes legacy. Sarah's first public outing post-return was tense. At the market, two women sneered. These types always know how to work the system. Her face burned, but she held her head high, remembering her father's advice. Stand tall, Sarah. The world bends, but you don't. That evening, Michael slid documents across his desk. I've covered your mother's bills fully. It's repayment. Tears fell. Thank you, Mr. Hayes. The storm escalated when Michael called a press conference in the estate's foyer. Cameras rolled as he declared, my ex-wife endangered my father. Sarah protected him at great cost. The rumors are lies. Sarah stepped forward, voice trembling. I stood because it was right. Mr. Hayes deserves dignity. Questions flew. Are you part of the family now? She replied, family is built on trust and sacrifice. If that's us, then yes. Headlines split. Hero housekeeper versus schemer in the shadows. Support from veterans groups swelled, praising her loyalty to a Marine. But backlash mounted graffiti on the gates. Outsider. Protests formed, one side cheering, the other hurling insults. A drone buzzed overhead, capturing footage. Sarah flinched, shielding Johnathan instinctively. Threats turned personal. Anonymous letters. Leave or else. Michael increased security. They're afraid of what you represent. One night, Protesters surged, shattering a window with rocks. Sarah shielded Johnathan again, glass cutting her. "Steady, guardian," he whispered. The next day, headlines praised her, but the fear lingered. The trial against the rioters was grueling. Sarah testified, facing cross-examination. "Isn't this all for attention?" She countered, "If bleeding for what's right is attention-seeking, then guilty. But I did it for dignity." Her past juvenile theft for food was dredged up. "I was a hungry kid," she admitted. But that doesn't change the truth. The jury convicted, but the victory felt hollow amid ongoing whispers. Recognition came from the National Marines Association, inviting her to D.C. for a civilian honor. At the ceremony, disruptors shouted fraud. Sarah addressed them. "I stood because it was right. If that's fraud, so be it." Applause thundered, veterans saluting her. Back home, a stalker emerged, Victor Kane, hired by Vivian's allies. He followed her, left photos with threats. One night, he breached the estate, knife in hand. "You don't belong." Sarah fought, disarming him until guards arrived. "You stood again," Johnathan said proudly. The conspiracy deepened. Evidence linked Kane to Vivian's network rival businessmen, fearing Hayes' influence. A public hearing exposed it all. Sarah testified, her past weaponized again. "Mistakes don't define me. Standing does." Applause mixed with jeers, but truth prevailed. The final assault came in a blackout storm. Intruders stormed the estate, led by Vivian herself. "You took everything," she screamed. Sarah shielded Johnathan, fighting off attackers. Michael fired back, FBI swarming in. Vivian was arrested, the network dismantled. In the garden aftermath, Michael toasted, "To Sarah, family by honor." Johnathan squeezed her hand. "You've earned your place." Sarah smiled, belonging at last. The Hayes estate stood renewed, a testament to resilience. Sarah's story reminded all that courage bridges divides, and truth conquers greed. What do you think about the themes of violence and injustice in this story? Share your opinions in the comments below. Do you believe standing up like Sarah is always worth the risk, or does society make it too dangerous? Take a stand and let me know your views.